Atazwane. Thank you, Mpumelelo, as I didn't see. With the limitation that squad had, there's the squad that Uzwane had before, you would think now that he would have done a lot better with the squad that the club currently has right now. And there were talks that he actually is the one who had gone out and told the management in January that these are the players that I want. And we saw Veluguti, a defender, for example, like Kunja Kevin Msimango, was the one who was wanted by Uzwane. So then he ended up coming to Chiefs, and then he was no longer there, which basically means Chiefs appointed Uzwane, and then Uzwane realized that, hey, I need better players. And then when they got him better players, they then decided, you know what, let's fire him before he can actually start using those better players, which then to me goes, this thing does not make any sense. How do you hire someone and then get him good players, or get him players at the very least, and once you get him those players, you then fire him? So you are basically saying to yourself as a team, we got this player, Uguti, I'm going to read your comments right now. Uguti, why are you now going to get a coach and then fire him after one season, after also he had finished 5th, which arguably is also not the greatest of things, because finishing 5th, even with the squad the Chiefs had last season, wasn't good enough. But you look at the player who was missing at the time, which is Ukik and Toli. But whenever Chiefs had Utoli, whenever Chiefs had the full complement of the squad, they did wonders. In fact, even without the full complement of the squad, let me not say wonders, maybe I'm pushing it a bit too far, but you had players like Tutuzi Shabalala coming into the senior team, and then they started doing things that were seemingly impossible to be done by younger players, because a lot of people were saying, these kids, they still need to grow, you can't be playing kids and all of that stuff. So that I think is problematic. Let me read the comments, starting with Mr. Minway is saying, what is happening below here? I see the sign of confusion and desperation with Chiefs. Inkinga Chiefs vele uguti, they are steadfastly, that's what they say, they are holding on ngenkani into this idea yoguti, we are the team. You understand? They are not saying this is Kaizer Chiefs, this means more. Like, you understand how Abo Liverpool are saying this is your club, stuff like that. But this belongs to them Taungs. And Abo Pobi, they don't even shy away from saying, no, it's team yasekhaya le. And once we have that thing, from time to time, we go back and say, oh, Vele, they did say this is a team, a family business. So then if that's the case, then you know, Guti, you realize, good now, we have no say, ne? And when you realize, Guti, you have no say, then in you, there is that sense of powerlessness, because you like, Vele, it doesn't matter what I say. Upobi has already said, this is their club. This basically belongs to them, and there's nothing you can tell them, even if you wanted to. And what makes it worse is the fact that business-wise they are doing well. So you know, good, even though Jessica for once was crying on Saturday, but the thing is, you see Jessica crying and other people are saying it's crocodile's tears, they are fake. I don't think those tears were fake, but I don't believe Uguti, she sincerely feels sad and understands the pain that we have gone through. You understand? So the thing that I hate is that fact, Uguti, they do not actually feel the pain that we feel as fans. Forget the money that we're spending. Like, imali guys is not, it is a deal, but I don't think that we really, because we don't complain about money when Chiefs wins. You understand? So kuna le nto leyo ukuthi I don't mind spending, say, 150 on an Uber going there. I need to get a car, by the way, but I can't afford a car right now. That's not the point, though. The point is, the point that I'm trying to make is the fact that Chiefs, at the current moment, they are a club who will get hurt, but not as much as us. Like, losing is not nice. At the end of the day, it is their own club and it doesn't look good on them if the club loses. But I don't think that it feels as bad as it does to us, because now we also have to face banter from other people. But forget banter, the feeling of losing. No one wants to lose. No one wants to lose. So I think Chiefs have not experienced that pain as much as we do. Let me read some of the other comments here. This advert on YouTube is blocking me from reading. Please like the video, by the way. Kaizer is saying that is good. To me, Mpilo, Orlando Pirates, they play good when Mart got a yellow card. I think the Pirates, what we did when that game began, Pirates, I don't know now why they started that game slow. Because we got 2 chances within 7 minutes. 2 very good chances, and Chiefs scored one of them. And then we ended up getting another chance, which we ended up converting to pre this time around. So I think they were growing into the game, and then in growing into the game, as you saw that video, I'm sure a lot of you saw the video of Patrick Maswanganyi talking about how they cannot lose to Chiefs and all of that stuff. So I do think that Pirates, they had confidence going to that game ukuthi they were gonna win it, and probably that affected their slow start, because they knew in their hearts ukuthi they were going to win the game. So then it was a very slow start, undermining Chiefs, and then Chiefs, which was rightfully so, because, well, look at what they ended up doing. So Vele, Pirates knew they were not gonna lose that game, and then they started slow, and that kind of got in their way. But then they got into the game, and then they scored a goal, and then Chiefs scored another chance, they scored a goal, then Pirates goes to halftime team talk. They're like, you know what, Pela, we're letting these people come back to the game. Let's go out, let's play football, let's destroy them. And they kind of did. Next comment is Mpumelelo is saying they just have to promote them down kids to upper management or board and hire proper technical people. Yawana wena Mpumelelo, my brother, indaba isekutheni, this is not about the success of the team, Chiefs. The way I see it, I might be wrong. It's about them being hands-on and having control. That is the big problem here. The problem is not whether or not they are still part of the club, because a club yakubo, ne? Because even if Junior is removed as a sporting director, that doesn't mean now he's going to go and be a sporting director at Baroka or at Sundowns or whatever. No, that's not what's going to happen here. But what's going to happen here is the fact that they are going to still be in the mix. Like about Kemi, so what is their job? What is their job? Their job is social media marketing. Do you think Ukemi Somtaung is the best to do that job for Kaizer Chiefs? Maybe not. But since it's a family business, they looked around and they're like, okay, usinenganela, itandayo. Oh, we see you like posting. Maybe let's get you to a marketing degree or a marketing course so that you can take this thing. I know this. Like, you have seen me even bringing my nieces to the channel, because everyone is trying to keep their things within the family. So I don't think this is about who is going to help the team succeed the most, but is how can we oversee the team while having maximum control on the team. And in that way, we are going to be able to control the team, one, but two, we're also going to take the credit if the team wins. But now, if they are like a CEO and the director of football up there on top, sporting director is actually what Umtaung Junior is. If they are in a higher position that's not as hands-on as being a sporting director or being a team manager is, then in their hearts of hearts, they are feeling like they are missing out in a way. So because of that, it doesn't make any sense for them. Another comment is Mr. Mino is saying, and like Puti, what is Dylan doing with Kaizer Chiefs? Sitting Velis Pansak. Shepard is an assistant coach. He's been doing that job since Gavin Hunt's time, because he came when Gavin Hunt was coaching. He became the sporting direct. He became the assistant coach to Gavin Hunt, and then Baxter same thing, and then he was assistant to Atazwan as well. So it's just there. Angithi yabo talent engisho ukuthi even him, if they fire Johnson or demote him, what's going to happen is they are still going to keep Shepard as an assistant coach, and after that they are going to either fire him or send him down. So Chiefs, they are keeping everyone here close by, and that is exactly why you will never hear Uzwane say something bad about Kaizer Chiefs. Why is that? They are family, and they are trying to make sure that if they are not controlling you, or they are not showing you the love that you would feel warm and fuzzy in your tam-tam, that love is going to buy your loyalty in a way. Maybe they are genuinely trying to be nice to people, or maybe they are trying to buy loyalty. I do not know. But what I have seen is the fact that everyone who works at Chiefs gets rotated around, because then if you are used to how things are run and done in this team, then you are not going to go out there and run your mouth and be an outsider. That is what Gavin Hunt actually said to Guti when they asked him, why were you fired at Chiefs? And he said something along the lines of, maybe they didn't like me or the way that I do things. You understand? But if you have Abo Zwane, people who know how to toe the line, right? You have Kevin Johnson, toe the line. Unsegi, same thing. They know how to toe the line. And the moment you kind of not what they want or expect from them, you are not what they're expecting from you, then now you are kind of bringing an imbalance in the team, and they don't like that. So that's why you are probably going to still see Dylan Shepard at Chiefs for a while. Next comment, please like the video, by the way. Specifically, Daniel is saying, I've decided to detach myself from this team and focus on Man United. At least they are trying to make changes, and with Kaizer Chiefs, there is nothing. I was going to laugh when I say ukuthi uzoyinakela United ngoba nakuyo kuyayibhedela. Nakubo kuyayibhedela, but at least they've sold a stake to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, so that's something. But we know with Chiefs, they're never going to do that. They're not going to sell any part of their stake to anyone. Unless the spokesperson is saying, I knew that we were going to lose against Pirates. However, I was surprised that Dupree stepped up regardless of our loss. Okay, see, this is what I will tell you, Endless. Uguti, yawana good derby. That's where you get to see Uguti which player actually can play football, or at the very least, how much hunger does the player possess. If you look at a player like Abu Kwinik uzlisile, but that's not because he doesn't want to win, right? He's just not comfortable on the ball, right? You look at Abo Rifrosla, he wasn't match fit, but we consider goal, he wants the game to restart immediately. He has that thing, he's not giving up, he's fighting. But also after the game, you see the other thing, there's a lot of frustration. Why was there so much frustration if they don't care? Those men, I will tell you now, those men care about winning. Those men want to win. And the Soweto Derby gets to show you, Uguti, these guys are really hungry. They want to do something. Like last year, the games that Mart performed in the most, he scored against Pirates. He was having a good performance as well. But even in the second derby, you saw what it derby means so much more to these players, and maybe to some too many times it doesn't affect them anymore. But for the most part, it derby gets to show you Guti, actually these players are as hungry as possible as we may think of. And about Dupree, the way that he did things, it's clear Uguti, if finishing yake was much better than it usually is, and because of that, he stepped up and was able to score the goals, which is something that he doesn't usually do. Kaizer Gift is saying, Pilo, that is why Orlando was. That's why Orlando Pirates had many fans for that game. That is true. That is true. Yeah, you know. Yeah. I posted a video. Go check out my shorts after you watch this video. Obviously, if you check my shorts, there is a video here. I'm trying to see if I can show those of you who didn't see that video. Like that video, guys, it just shows you Uguti how many more Pirates fans. Let's see. This was the video. Like, it's so full. It's just Orlando Pirates fans. It's just them. Like, look around. It's just them all over. The whole side that I was sitting on, it's just them. And then all over the stadium as well. They are mixed with the Chiefs fans on the other side. But it's just pure Pirates fans. And you're like, wow. This is something. Because a lot of Kaizer Chiefs fans decided, you know what? I'm not putting myself through that pain. I'm going to just do one thing and one thing only, not go to the game. And in what do they say? In hindsight, it was a good decision for some of those people. Especially saying, I wonder how the players are feeling this season, especially after they lost Mancave and they were at least trying to compete with him. You know what's funny? Someone told me that the players were not happy when Zwane was removed. Some of the players, there is. Because there was just that thing, Yoguti, we are building on something. We're about to do something. This is the project, Gazwane. We can see where he's trying to get the team to. So obviously, players have to try and be professional, but you move from one Nsegi to Calvin Johnson, and you like, as bekungcono nozwanela kube nje besihlale naye. Khosi is saying, we were supposed to sub Castillo from to take out Saile for Duba, but no, our coach is tactically clueless and his arrogance is killing me, pretending he didn't see. When he said he didn't see fans throw things, that just made me go Johnson. Who do you think you are fooling? Why would you say you didn't see fans throwing things while we clearly, everybody knows, everybody saw Guti fans were throwing things at him. And he could have said, yeah, they're frustrated, I saw it, and move on. Nope. He decides to lie. And also, that's annoying a lot of people about Johnson Uguti. One of the things that people don't appreciate, after interviews, post-match interviews, he's making jokes, and maybe that's an attempt to not show his true emotions, which is he's actually disappointed. So he tries to lighten the mood. But we're not looking for him to lighten the mood. Like, if I watch Pep after losing, he's angry. Like, you saw that the video of Mikel Arteta. It's like, when I lose the ball, I'm upset. He was kicking things in the dressing room. He's mad. He's not trying to make everyone understand what, okay, we lost, but we go again next time. No. He's like, you played nonsense. You played asho namagama engengwasho ngoba ngiyakholwa. Akusho nje akhuluma ukuthi no. Lento enidlala umsangano niyangisanganela nonke la emakhandeni unahlanga. Uyabona nje, oh hey, buka lama documentary lana bo Man City man, abo Arsenal. You can see ukuthi these managers are showing passion. Ayo Johnson basafuna ukwenza ama jokes. Kumele asho ukuthi nidliwe kwidabi nini. Niyangicika. Yabona ungasabi usho nje uniyangiyangisa nini. Angazi lento eniyenzayo ningibukisa nabantu. But there's none of that. There's jokes. Uzama ukwenza amahlaya. Unati is saying, according to your point of view, when I'm Mr. Mpilo, what should be done in order for this team to get back to glory days? I think someone already said it on top. One, you fix the management. How do you fix the management? You remove the management from interfering with the technical team. Be the team, run the team, deal with your sponsorships and whatnot and the business side of things. But footballing side, bring someone who actually understands how to do this thing. You understand me? Someone who has a footballing background. Like you see right now, take for example Liverpool. I'm a Liverpool fan. When Klopp came in, Michael Edwards, who was the sporting director at the time, a very good sporting director, understands these things very well. He went out and started getting Abu Alisson. I mean, Abu Salah. Salah was even, I think they say Salah was like a fourth reject in a way, but still, Liverpool was there saying, yeah, he's one who could become a great player. Michael Edwards identified him, identified Dumane, identified Abo Van Dijk, identified Abo Alisson. All of these people. Why? Because he's just that good. So, in him being that good, he was able to properly get the right people, the right players who will fit the style of Klopp. But not only the style of Klopp, but even if Klopp was to leave Liverpool like he is right now in June, there is still, those players have the culture of Liverpool, the way that they play, the aggression, the pace, the everything represent for Liverpool, because Vele, there is the coach and his philosophy, but there's also the club and its philosophy, and those two things must match. But abakwamtaungi, they don't do that. Bona bavele babuka ukuthi ish yazini ngiyabona mfethu masingathola umuntu ozoswinela something, bahambe beyolanda uGavin Hunt, who is not a good coach. I mean, who's not a bad coach. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Who is a very good coach, right? Gavin Hunt is a very good coach, ne? But if philosophy yake ne philosophy Chiefs, do those two things match? They do not. But at that time, Kaizer Chiefs were so desperate to get a trophy, they forgot about anything else. They threw everything out the door. They were like, let's get someone who's gonna win us something. And to show that even the decision to appoint Gavin Hunt was a panic decision, you see it because the man was heading towards winning the Champions League. But then they decided to remove him from his position in the semi-finals. So it's clear that their constant meddling in that structure is causing them to fire coaches willy-nilly. Because Gavin Hunt, yes, it was during COVID, but I don't think fans would have wanted him to be fired at that time. He was taking us to win a star. They fired him. Why? Because, once again, they failed to identify whether he's the right coach for Chiefs or not. Because there's a difference between being a good coach and being a good coach for a specific team. You have Mourinho, for example. Spurs did the same thing with Mourinho. They saw Mourinho was going to win them a cup and they would have to be forced to keep him as a coach of Spurs. But then they fired him a week before the trophy was played. Reason being, if he had won a cup, then how were they going to justify firing him? Why were they firing him? Wasn't doing so great in the league, but most importantly, his style of play was just not resonating with the fans. So if there's a clash between the coach's philosophy and what the fans have become accustomed to with the way of the team plays, then there's a clash, and obviously that coach is not going to last in the team. And that's the same thing that is happening with the Chiefs. So remove that management, get a sporting director, and once a sporting director is there, then we start defining things clearly. We talk about the Chiefs' way. What is it? Because if the Chiefs' way is winning, doesn't matter how. If the Chiefs' way is just about winning, then fine. Get a coach who's just going to win. It doesn't matter how. But if the Chiefs' way is playing prime Barcelona football and dominating teams and winning every game we play, then you must find a coach like that. You get me? So if you get a sporting director first, you're going to be in a good position. Or if really, because now I heard other stories, Uguti, sporting director wetu Kaizer Mtaung Jr. did not want Atazwane gone. He wanted him to stay. So if that's the case, then undermining your sporting director who's clearly recommending that this guy must stay at his job and firing him even though the sporting director is not recommending that, then that means you have a problem, because now you are hiring someone whose recommendations you are not taking, which goes back to the point. It's coming back full circle, because if you have a team running the day-to-day things of the footballing side, then they're going to clash. Then they're a family. Then they're going to end up compromising the footballing side so that they can keep peace within the family. And if the sporting director is the sporting director, we know we hired him because he's good at his job. And when he says something, we know that he's not saying it based on his feelings towards Atazwane because they were friends, but he's saying it because he has seen this before, he has done it with other teams. But if he has not done it with other teams, then we have a bigger problem. Usaifo is saying we need a mentally strong coach like Ernst because there's too much favoritism in the team. True, but I will stick with the simile. Like not him, someone like him, but definitely not him because there's gonna be a clash. That's for sure. Kaizer is saying that is why Chiefs will not win because of family business. That is true. That is true. There are so many compromises made. Umpumelelo is saying our defense cost us. Second goal, Shanti lost the ball trying to play a diagonal. Msimang was slow to get back to position on the third goal. Okay. Kunika chose the wrong pass to play out from the back. Exactly. If you look at all those goals, all of them could have been avoided. As you are saying, Kunika, the first one, he has multiple options. He makes the wrong pass. Second goal, it's the same thing. What happened within the same goal? They were not pressing properly in Ulebit, and the last goal, obviously, Abom Simang were not going to space fast enough, but also our pivots were nowhere to be seen. And you could see Brendan Peterson gesturing like he's saying there's too much space, something like that, and we lost. But that's just the thing. It's not just about the game of Pirates. It's also about every other game that we've played. Uguti, the tactics have been questionable at best and purely embarrassing. Kaizer saying me too Mpilo, Man City is playing good. Unamanje is saying mina Kazlami ngiye I will blame parents. Angeke ingane ayilwazi ulimi lwakubo, ingane nokuthi igama layo lisho ukuthini. Ngizama ukuthi angiyiboni imisebenzi yomqeqeshi. I don't think they even analyze their game. Yay! Yazi uqinisile mfethu, because you know what's funny? I realized that I just read isiZulu ngathi ngifunda isingisi. I'm so sorry. Anyways, indaba isekutheni the coach vele ilento engilekho ngisho. People are saying no Mpilo, we think that it's the players. I say I hear you, and I'm not saying I'm dismissing Guti. The players have not contributed to our downfall. I just compare the two, man, and I think there is no way that every player could be that bad because our players are that bad at this point. So it makes me go, yeah, there must be something bigger, and in this case, I think it's the coach who is a problem. Umpumelelo saying Johnson deflects a lot. He's annoying. He never answers questions directly. He takes his coaching cues from comments made at a press conference and he apples it in the next game. He applies it. I'm sorry. I just read it wrong. Let me read again. Johnson deflects a lot. He's annoying. He never answers questions directly. He takes his coaching cues from comments made at press conferences. That is so true. That is true. Ufika buku ukuthi nithe our fullback position was problematic, and they will say, yeah, last game we had a problem at our right back and we fixed it. But that was the question that was literally asked by a journalist. And this thing, yokuthi Chiefs isimfundisile how to be political about Jessica, because they answer these questions by not answering them, and they deflect and avoid the question and try to make a joke. And also this thing yokuthi abantu bayenyanga nezu5 or inyanga nezu10, I don't really think he believes that. I think that he said it so that we can start talking about him saying Chiefs iyathathwa, or talk about how Chiefs needs to play at 35 degrees Celsius for them to win. He's not saying that because he actually believes it, because if it gets hotter, it's going to be difficult for players to play. But he's saying that so that we can say, wow, Johnson just said something ridiculous, and we feast on him saying something stupid, and we forget that the actual problem is not him saying something stupid, but the actual problem is him not coaching and failing to answer why did the team struggle, right? Why did the team struggle? So instead of saying, you know what, we failed to break them down, We failed to break them down because our midfield was disorganized, because our midfield had two players who are defensive. Our midfield had two people whose starting positions were too close to our defense, such that when we moved the ball further up the field, there was no one else to be options available for our wingers so that they can play the ball off that person and that person can now play them through. No. Uzothi, you know what? I don't know how to answer this. So what I'm going to say, find something ridiculous, say it, and then Abompilo will feast on that and they will not address the real issue, which is the fact that my tactics were not spot on at all. I sucked, my game plan was bad, and because of that, the team lost. Even this thing Ahoto, I was saying in the post-match analysis, Uguti, how can a coach honestly tell me that, they overloaded with Hoto? How did they not expect that? Pirates plays like that every single time. They play Hoto as a left back. You understand? He's always there and he always overlaps. Yet it was surprising to the coach on the day. It doesn't make any sense. Usanele is saying, good evening, Pilo. My old friend at Kaizer Chiefs. Oh, good morning, Pilo, my old friend. At Kaizer Chiefs, the problem is not the problem. The problem is the attitude of the management. To preach. Let me read. I can actually even clip this. He's saying the problem is not the problem. The problem is the attitude of the management towards the problem. I hope you understand the problem. Yazi, you have talked. You have talked. The problem is not the problem. That's not the problem here. The problem is the attitude towards the problem. Like, that's the thing. If you do not even address the problem, if you don't want to accept that there is a problem, I'm going to preach to somebody, you are never going to address it. Because the moment you say, oh, we're fine, oh, we're doing well, oh, the players performed, oh, the boys showed hunger, oh, the derby was entertaining. When last did you see a derby with 5 goals? Do you think I honestly care about how many goals are scored in a derby? If I lose, you can like you telling me that the man is basically saying to me, Chiefs would have scored 8 goals and Pirates would have scored 9 goals, and that was supposed to make me happy because there was a spectacular feast. You know, Uguti, when I say a game too open, a friend of mine, Msebenzini, doesn't understand why I feel bad. I don't like it when the game is too open, because that means one team is not organized properly in midfield and the game is just free flowing. Now, when I watch the game, I watch it too tactical at times, I admit, because I'm looking with how are they finding so much space in your midfield? Why are you this open, right? That just shows that you are too disorganized because everyone is just all over. And that's exactly what happens when you're watching Chiefs. They are all over. And because if a game is open like that, then there tends to be more goals in games like that. But is it entertaining? Yes, it is entertaining. Is it a good game though? For me, as a Kaizer Chiefs fan or a Kaizer Chiefs player, no. It's not a good game, because conceding 3 goals in a game, no matter how entertaining it is, that just means you are disorganized, and that can never be a good thing. I do not care what you tell me. Anyways, let me read more comments. Andreas Berg is saying, why the coach did not use Ungcobo for Kunik? The excuse that he will give, that other people are also giving, is the fact that Kunika is quicker than Ungcobo, but Ungcobo is slow, but I don't think the pace between the two is that much. I don't think they are that fast. Because if you're going to give me that excuse, I want to check something. I want to check Chiefs. I think they once played Ungcobo even in midfield during Baxter's time. And they played him there and he played well. He has played it derby. It's not like we're now going to struggle with the pace. Because you must remember, the pace here, Pirates, is not through the middle. It's not Mabasa who was causing problems for Chiefs. But the people who are causing problems are the wingers. On the other hand, Usaleng. On the other hand, Urelebuhile. So the two people who are quick are the ones who are coming wide. Ungobungena plapo because yena upizula in the middle. And if Pirates, because Pirates are not cowards, they were not trying to knock the ball over Chiefs and say Asbachach. Because if that was their game plan, then we would have suffered even more. But Pirates were trying to play the ball through the midfield because they knew we were dead and disorganized there. So that is why I'm saying that explanation ka coach, if he says it was because of your pace, it doesn't make sense, because Pirates these days are not looking to play the balls over and beat you on pace, but what they are trying to do is play the ball. And usually if you play the ball, there's not a lot of kicking and running after the ball. Muhammad is saying, Olampilo, how's it? And he continues to say, I'm good, my brother. For me, the downfall has been the technical team. We have a top-class training facility, yet we don't know how to utilize, because players come in playing well at other teams, yet they reach at Naturena, they can't perform. How do you hire a taxi driver to manage a truck or a bus? So instead of players becoming better, they become confused due to the team that is in charge at training. Fix the technical team, bring those who are qualified, you will see changes. That is true. The problem is, if you bring the people who are qualified, well, on Chiefs' side, they see it as a problem, but it's not. Chiefs will see it as a problem because in their eyes, if they bring someone who understands what they are doing, they're not going to be grateful for just working for Chiefs, which is exactly what they are getting with a person like Calvin Johnson. So that becomes a huge factor in Chiefs deciding. And I will keep on saying this. For them and to them, the biggest issue of them all is not whether or not the team is succeeding, but is if and when the team starts succeeding again, how much control do they have? Because we know Chiefs always wants to control the narrative, and if they're not controlling it, well, then we might as well not do anything. We're just going to keep on reshuffling the family business around, and the problem is going to continue being big. But hey, if you're watching this video after the live, what do you think about Kaizer Chiefs and their crappy management right now? And what's going to solve the problems? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, remember, Khosi, I'll pay you more.